Good morning and assalamu alaikum, our lecturer and everyone. My name is Wang Xu Chen. My entry number is 20091. We are from Group 5. Our topic of today's presentation is Keynesian School of Thought. Government's role is stabilizing the economy. As we all know, 2020 was supposed to be a milestone year for Malaysians, but things did not turn out well due to the COVID-19 outbreak. COVID-19 is a health crisis that brought huge impacts across the world. We have cited one article which title is Impact of Pandemic on Economy and Recovery Policy. The writer expressed her point of view on the impacts of pandemic on Malaysia's economy and how the Malaysian government regrets on its way the implementation of recovery policies. Then, my group members will explain future on the policies theory related to this issue and its development. Now let's pass to my friends.
So my name is Lam Yong Qian, and I'm going to talk about the theory in this issue. As mentioned earlier, the measure taken by the government to tackle the negative effects on the economy are the active monetary and fiscal policy, and this is one of the major tenets of the Keynesian school. Keynesian economists advocated that the government should intervene actively through this policy to combat recession or depression. Monetary policy can be categorized into two. First is expansionary monetary policy. It increases the money supply within the economy to boost the economic growth. Whereas the second one is a contractionary monetary policy. It lowers the amount of money circulating throughout the economy to tame inflation. Next. The tools of monetary policy are interest rate adjustment, changes in reserve requirement ratio, and also the open market operation. And so in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, the government adopted the expansionary monetary policy. Bank Negara Malaysia has announced to decrease the overnight policy rate to 2%. By lowering the interest rate, the cost of borrowing decreases, and this, the demand for loan increases, which therefore encourage firms and consumers to finance greater spending and also investment. Low interest rate also causes lower incentive to save, and this eventually reduces the saving and increase spending. Besides, mortgage interest payment also fall. The reduction in money cost of mortgage repayment will also increase the consumption. Increase in consumption will spur economic growth and urge the economy out of its downturn. Next, according to Bank Negara Malaysia, statutory reserve requirement ratio also fall from 3% to 2%. SRR is used by Bank Negara Malaysia for liquidity management. By lowering the SRR ratio, commercial banks will have a greater capital to offer loans to firm and consumer or to invest in other assets. As a result, there is an increase in the money supply and the economic expand. And then when the money supply becomes high, it will stimulate economic activities which can lead to an expansion in the labor markets and eventually reduce unemployment. Then I will pass to Kah Yee to continue with fiscal policy.
Thank you, Janice. My name is Kah Yee. Now I'm going to talk about the fiscal policies. Next. On 27 March 2020, the Malaysian government has announced pre-Hardin stimulus package. The purposes of the stimulus package are protecting people, supporting businesses, and strengthening the economy. Janice has mentioned and explained on the monetary policy. Now I will explain on the fiscal policy that are implemented by our government. In fact, Keynesian claims that fiscal policy is actually a better approach to recover the economy as the monetary policy has its limitation. In this case, our government has implemented expansionary fiscal policy, which is increasing government spending or reducing taxes. There are some examples of government expenditures in a package, such as Bantuan Prihati Nasional, which is a one-off cash assistance, domestic investment projects such as improving roads, cleaning of worship places, incentives and discounts, as well as the postponement of tax payment for small, medium enterprise. Next. These expenditures will help to combat with high unemployment rate, as a lot of people are expected to lose their jobs in this outbreak. With government spending on projects, it will help to increase the jobs. Other than that, postponement postponement of tax payments will ease the cash flow problem in SMEs, while those cash assistance and incentive will help to increase the private consumption. Keynesian often use the multiplier concept to describe how government's policy will help to boost the economy during the recession. According to the article we have selected, we can know that the Malaysian government has implemented both monetary and fiscal policies in order to ensure sustainable economic growth in the midst of this pandemic. Next, we will talk about the development of Keynesian school and the differences between Keynesian and other school of thoughts.
Hello, my name is Shakinah binti Ismail. Now I'm going to talk about the development of the theory from different school of thought. Keynesian economy is school of thought in which government plays an important role in mitigating economic recession. Keynesian school started during the Great Depression in the 1930s. This school was introduced by Jailany. He advocated the need for government intervention during the height of the Great Depression. The marginalist school and the classical school started that the economy is self-adjusting, but during the Great Depression, this theory did not work. Keynesian economy is theory of total consumer consumption, also known as aggregate demand, its effect on output and inflation. Keynes stated the government should spend less money during times of economic prosperity and spend more during downturn time. The role of the government is to spend where necessary in order to stabilize the economy, whether by lowering interest rate or increasing governmental outlays. Next, fiscal policy is often linked Keynesianism. It's often linked to the work of leaders from British economist John Maynard Keynes, whose theories came from his belief that proactive government action are the best way to stem an economy. The Keynesian theories movement implies that monetary policy itself has its limits in the resolution of financial crisis, thereby establishing the Keynesian versus the monetary controversy. Then, monetary policy, which the central bank controls, can also slowly organize the economy. Ultimately, its goal to create cash will end up in a banking system which lower interest rate and makes money easy to borrow. Monetary policy was first introduced during the neoclassical school by Ismail. He came up with this idea before the Great Depression when he was trying to make paper money more redeemable on demand and does not require any gold or coin. Works policy play an important role in stimulating the economy, but monetary policy is most commonly used for adjusting the economy. Adjusting the interest rate is one of the simplest ways to give an impact to the economy. However, monetary policy has its constraints, hence the combination of both policy is crucial in adjusting the economy to its equilibrium level. Next, I will pass to the Nadhirah.
So Shah has explained the development of this theory. So now I will talk about the comparison of this idea between the different school of thoughts. So firstly, government intervention generally means action that can be taken by the government to the economy. The idea of government intervention has evolved differently between the Keynesian school and other school of thoughts. So firstly is the Keynesian school. Keynesian school did not agree with minimal government intervention. The Keynesian economists uphold that the government should arbitrate actively towards fiscal and monetary policy in order to help promote full employment, economic growth, as well as price stability. So next would be the physiocratic school. This is the first school of thought which has a different idea of the Keynesian school. So their idea is more towards the laissez-faire, which means that people will do as they please without government intervention. So next, the school of thought that disagreed with the idea of government intervention is the classical school of thought. Their idea is that the economy is self-adjusting and tending towards full employment. They have also stated that the least the government intervenes, the better the economy. They have also stated that the government's role is only towards the national defense of the country as well as to impose property rights. Furthermore,
The marginalist school of thought also disagreed on the government interference. They have continued the classical idea of minimal government intervention as their main policy. Their view is that the natural economic law was supposed to be in order, then only the maximum social benefit is easier to be generated. Social benefit here means that the total benefit of society from producing or consuming goods or services. Lastly is the Chicago School. Chicago School, which is also known as the monetary school, also opposes the idea of government intervention. This is because the Chicago School felt that the monetary policy was causing more inflation, which is why the inflation rates was soaring up during the 1970s. So that's it from me. Next, I will pass to Joey to continue with the conclusion.
Hello everyone, my name is Zhang Disheng. I will talk about the conclusion. In the 1930s, the Great Depression in the United States had led to high employment rate and market failures. Thus, John Maynard Keynes, a British economist, has developed Keynesian economics to explain the situation. Keynesian economics emphasize on the macroeconomic aspect and the role of government in stabilizing the economy. Keynesian economics claims that increased government spending and lower the interest rate via a fiscal policy or monetary policy would stimulate aggregate consumption during the economic shutdown. At present, some policies and measures adopted by the government to revitalize the economy can be explained by the Keynesian school of thought. Certainly, Keynesianism is not perfect. Keynesian thought was questioned in the 1980s as the rise of the monetary school. The debate between Keynesianism and other schools of thought has long existed, but there is no perfect solution or theory that can explain every economic condition. The development of economic thought would not stop here. It would be constantly improvised and improved to catch up with the fast changing world. That's all for us. Thank you.